Hello, my name is Adrian Houston and today I will talk about private residence relief and the capital gains reliefs that MPs get on second homes and how you can get them too. Everyone has a capital gains exemption on their main residence, their principal residence. And the effect that has is to mean that if you buy your house for £100,000 and you sell it for £200,000, there's no tax. And that's an important principle that means that most of us have no hassles when we sell our house. We don't have to put anything onto our tax returns and we've no tax to pay. Where things get a bit more complicated is if you have a second home. And in May 2009 this came home to roost for a lot of MPs who were getting paid public money to run their second homes but were then somehow avoiding capital gains tax when they came to sell that second home. So I want to explain to you how that works. And what the MPs did was in fact entirely legitimate from a tax point of view. The Inland Revenue, or HM Revenue and Customs as it's now known, allows you to nominate which home will be treated as your main residence. This is done in a letter you write to your tax office. And this might be your home that you live in Monday to Friday, or perhaps a weekend home. And so for the MPs who are using both their London home and their constituency home, they can make a decision which one they want to nominate, and that is perfectly legal. The way it works is that you send this letter to your tax office and you say that from a particular date I wish the address below to be treated as my main residence for capital gains tax purposes. That then means when you come to sell that property, some or all of the profit that you make will be tax exempt. It will be covered by principal private residence relief. Let's take for example the situation where you own a house for 10 years but after 5 years you make it your main residence, you send in that election. That means that for 5 years out of 10 it's treated as your main residence. So if you make a gain on the sale of that property of £100,000, then only 50,000 of it, half, would be taxable. That leaves 50,000 that's not taxed. And your tax bill will be based on your 50,000 taxable less your annual exemption, which is about £10,000, and that is now taxed at 18%. What the MPs in the spring of 2009 were criticised for was what was known as flipping, and that meant that they were flipping their residences from one to another. Their main object in doing this was to be able to get taxpayer funded allowances for their London home, and then after a little while change their parliamentary election so that their second home became their constituency home, and then they got more taxpayer funded allowances. But what they were also doing was manipulating the capital gains elections. That meant that they were maybe nominating one house as their main residence and then when it suited them changing to another. HM Revenue and Customs will not have any particular problem with that, so long as they have indeed used both of them as their main residence. They might look for evidence of occupation, maybe utility bills, maybe bank statements, credit card statements going to that address. But probably most people in the situation of MPs would have correspondence going to each of their addresses. For you and me, this means we have to be careful that we don't nominate an inappropriate house. For instance, it would not be legitimate to nominate as your main residence a rental property that was constantly let out to other tenants. That's not going to be your main residence, and if the Revenue were to ask for evidence, you will be in a sticky wicket. But apart from that, this can be used for example, holiday homes, and it might be a belt and braces approach to get some of your bank statements, credit card statements, etc. addressed to that home for a period of time. So I hope today's talk has clarified for you how the capital gains private residence relief can work and how it can be of benefit to those who have more than one home and not just MPs. Thank you for listening.